A functional mammary gland is characteristic of all female mammals. The mammary glands are paired structured breasts that contain glandular tissue and variable amount of fat. The glandular tissue, each breast is divided into 50 to 20 mammary lobes containing cluster of cells called alveoli. The cells of alveoli secrete milk, which is stored in the cavities lumens of alveoli. The alveoli open into mammary tubules. The tubules of each lobe join to form a mammary duct. Several mammary ducts join to form a wider mammary ampulla, which is connected to lactiferous duct through which milk is sucked out. 2.3 Gametogenesis. The primary sex organs, the testes in the males and the ovaries in the females, produce gamete, that is, sperms and ovum respectively, by the process called gametogenesis. In testes, the immature male germ cells, spermatogonia, produce a sperm by spermatogenesis that begins at puberty. The spermatogonia present on the inside wall of seminiferous tubules multiply by mitotic division and increase in numbers. Each spermatogonium is diploid and contains 46 chromosomes. Some of the spermatogonia, called primary spermatocytes, periodically undergo meiosis. A primary spermatocyte completes the first meiotic division, reduction division, leading to formation of two equal haploid cells called secondary spermatocytes, which have only 23 chromosomes each. The secondary spermatocytes undergo the second meiotic division to produce four equal haploid spermatids. What would be the number of chromosomes in the spermatids? The spermatids are transformed into spermatozoa sperms by the process called spermiogenesis. After spermiogenesis, sperm heads become embedded in the Sertoli cells and are finally released from the seminiferous tubules by the process called spermiation. Spermatogenesis starts at the age of puberty due to significant increase in the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH. This, if you recall, is a hypothalamic hormone. The increased levels of GnRH then acts at the anterior pituitary gland and stimulates secretion of two gonadotropins, luteinizing hormone LH and follicle stimulating hormone FSH. LH acts at the leading cells and stimulates synthesis and secretion of androgens. Androgens in turn stimulate the process of spermatogenesis. FSH acts on the Sertoli cells and stimulates secretion of some factor which help in the process of spermiogenesis. Let us examine the structure of a sperm. It is a microscopic structure composed of a head, neck, a middle piece and a tail. A plasma membrane envelops the whole body of a sperm. The sperm head contains an elongated haploid nucleus, the anterior portion of which is covered by a cap-like structure, acrosome. The acrosome is filled with enzyme that helps fertilization of the ovum. The middle piece possesses numerous mitochondria which produce energy for the movement of tail that facilitate sperm motility essential for fertilization. The human male ejaculates about 200 to 300 million sperms during a coitus, of which for normal fertility at least 60% sperm must have normal shape and size and at least 40% of them must show vigorous motility. Sperms released from the seminiferous tubules are transported by the accessory ducts. Secretion of epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle and prostate are essential for maturation and motility of sperms. The seminal plasma along with the sperms constitute the semen. The functions of male sex accessory ducts and glands are maintained by the testicular hormones androgens. The process of formation of a mature female gamete is called oogenesis, which is markedly different from spermatogenesis. Oogenesis is initiated during the embryonic development stage when a couple of million gamete mother cells, oogonia, are formed within each fetal ovary. No more oogonia are formed and added after birth. These cells start division and enter into prophase first of the meiotic division and get temporarily arrested at that stage, called primary oocytes. Each primary oocyte then gets surrounded by a layer of granulosa cells and is called the primary follicle. A large number of these follicles degenerate during the phase from birth to the puberty. Therefore, at puberty, only 60,000 to 80,000 primary follicles are left in each ovary. The primary follicles get surrounded by more layers of granulosa cells and a new theca and are called secondary follicles. The secondary follicle soon transforms into a tertiary follicle, which is characterized by a fluid-filled cavity called antrum. The theca layer is organized into an inner theca interna and outer theca externa. It is important to draw your attention that it is at this stage that the primary oocyte within the tertiary follicle grows in size and completes its first meiotic division. It has unequal division, resulting in the formation of a large haploid secondary oocyte and a teeny first polar body. The secondary oocyte retains bulk of the nutrient-rich cytoplasm of the primary oocyte. Can you think of any advantage for this? Does the first polar body born out of first meiotic division divide further or degenerate? At present, we are not very certain about this. The tertiary follicle further changes into the mother mature follicle or Graafian follicle. The secondary oocyte form a new membrane called zona pellucida surrounding it. The Graafian follicle now ruptures to release the secondary oocyte ovum from the ovary by the process called ovulation. Can you identify major differences between spermatogenesis and oogenesis? A diagrammatic representation of spermatogenesis and oogenesis is given below. 2.4 Menstrual cycle. The reproductive cycle in the female primates, that is monkeys, apes and human beings, is called menstrual cycle. The first menstruation begins at puberty and is called menarche. In human females, menstruation is repeated at an average interval of about 28 to 29 days, and the cycle of events starting from one menstruation till the next one is called the menstrual cycle. One ovum is released ovulation during the middle of each menstrual cycle. The major events of menstrual cycle are shown in figure. The cycle starts within the menstrual phase when menstrual flow occurs and it lasts for 3 to 5 days. The menstrual flow results due to breakdown of endometrial lining of the uterus and its blood vessels, which forms liquid that comes out through vagina. Menstruation only occurs if the released ovum is not fertilized. Lack of menstruation may be indicative of pregnancy. However, it may also be caused due to some other underlying causes like stress, poor health, etc. The menstrual phase is followed by the follicular phase. During this phase, the primary follicles on the ovary grow to become a fully mature Graafian follicle, and simultaneously the endometrium of uterus regenerates through proliferation. These changes in the ovary and the uterus are induced by changes in the levels of pituitary and ovarian hormones. The secretion of gonadotropin LH and FSH increases gradually during the follicular phase and stimulates follicular development as well as secretion of estrogen by the growing follicles. Both LH and FSH attain a peak level in the middle of cycle about 14 days. Rapid secretion of LH leading to its maximum level during the mid-cycle called LH surge induces rupture of Graafian follicle and thereby the release of ovum ovulation. The ovulatory phase is followed by the luteal phase, during which the remaining parts of the Graafian follicle transform as the corpus luteum. The corpus luteum secretes large amounts of progesterone, which is essential for maintenance of the endometrium. Such an endometrium is necessary for implantation of the fertilized ovum and other events of pregnancy. During pregnancy, all events of the menstrual cycle stop and there is no menstruation. In the absence of fertilization, the corpus luteum degenerates. This causes disintegration of the endometrium leading to menstruation, marking a new cycle. In human beings, menstrual cycle ceases around 50 years of age, that is termed as menopause. Cyclic menstruation is an indication of normal reproductive phase and extends between menarche and menopause.